Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Hope everyone's okay. Hope everyone is good. Can someone obviously just let me know if you can't hear me? But otherwise, I'll just continue and it'll be in the recording one way or another. I actually think today's going to be an incredibly quick run through. Nothing has really changed since Tuesday. Price is actually almost identical as to where we were on Tuesday. We have seen obviously a little bit of a flush down off the back of some of the CPI data. Markets kind of started to rally a little bit, and we kind of end up in this sort of status quo sort of place that we find ourselves in now. So let's just jump straight in onto the 3-day time frame. And as I said, this is obviously the biggest indicator that nothing has really changed. Unfortunately for us, nothing has changed in terms of getting us excited or concerned. We are still below the northern, if you will, trend line. We sort of wick back down to this main support, which we've talked about in the past. Goes, I can't remember to do it, but you can kind of see where it starts to connect to April 2024, and it sort of goes on and through there. So a logical place, even on the 3-day time frame, for this to turn around and bounce from. And so we're really just waiting still for that move. We're going to look on some other charts at the moment, but you can kind of get an indication that some of these wicks are starting to be lower. Now, whether or not that is enough for us to raise the flag and say we're running out of a little bit of steam, we'll go and have a look on some smaller charts for that. But we have been up since the beginning of April with very little drawdown, as I sort of alluded to on Tuesday. Any sort of pullback down from that is not necessarily a problem, and it sort of levels much lower down, sort of 75, that we need to be concerned about if we're losing those as to where things may turn about. So Nasdaq, it has had a slight pullback. I mean, this is long overdue, and this pullback could be considerable. I mean, realistically, I've just realized, coming down to sort of this level, although that will feel like a hell of all 3,000 points, we've had such a strong move out of there that sharp pullback, I think is I'm not going to say it's going to happen, because at the moment the markets are absolutely wild in terms of just not really connected to what's going on from a geopolitical point of view or an economic point of view. But perhaps now the realization with the inflation data, with the PMI data coming through, that actually we are starting to feel that pinch. I know there was some positive news with Kevin Walsh officially endorsed yesterday. I think Jerome Powell's last day is today as chair of the Fed. Kevin Walsh will take over. Jerome Powell will, thanks for that, Erjan. It might be me. I'm not too sure, just on the buffering, but not much I can do about that right now. It is being recorded. I will try and deal with that one when I can. Let's see if I can just reset. No, if I do that, it's going to end the stream and start again. Let me know in a couple of minutes if it's still going. I will do a reset and we'll just go again if that is the case. Let me just interrupt my train of thought, so I might as well have a look. Wi-Fi is all strong. Signal's good. All looks good my end. So I'm not necessarily too sure what that is, but please let me know if it is continuing and it's really annoying. Anyway, so obviously there's some geopolitical, but this is just a very slight pullback. It's absolutely nothing. I mean, again, we're on the 3-day time frame. We've hardly moved. We're back to where we were 2 days ago. The climbs have been pretty stellar, which is why that is. And as I said on Tuesday, this is being irrational, and the markets can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So it's definitely something to be monitoring. I would have it on your charts just as you sort of your run through on things. Total 2, just looking like Bitcoin. No change there. Again, back down ever so slightly. And then we've got Tau. Tau's obviously had that rejection. It's sort of battling the Gandalf line, which will